Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this session, we shall study some of the locations and sites we come across while offering Hajj and Umrah. These locations and sites have been called Sha'irullah by the Quran. The word Sha'ir is the plural of the word Sha'ira, and the word Sha'ira means a symbol which has been fixed by the Sharia in order to divulge some reality. It symbolizes some reality. Now, as far as the sites and locations of Hajj and Umrah are concerned, first of all, we shall study the miqat. The miqat are certain areas which are demarcated across and beyond the Holy Kaaba, and it is essential that once a person crosses these miqat, he has to be in a state of ihram. The miqat of people coming from the direction of Yemen is called Yalamlam. Those coming from Syria and Egypt, it is Juhfa. Those coming from Najd, it is Karn, and those arriving from Medina, it is Zul Hulayfa, and those arriving from the east, it is Zatu Irq. As far as the Baytullah itself is concerned, it is also called the Masjidul Haram or the Al-Baytul Atiq by the Quran, and we know that it is situated in the city of Makkah. 4,000 years ago, when Abraham arrived in this city, he reconstructed it with the help of his son Ishmael, and he constructed actually a roofless building, and we know that this was done through inspiration given to him by the Almighty. Later, however, through natural calamities, this structure could not remain intact and it was destroyed, and then first the Amalika and then the tribe of Jurhum had it rebuilt. However, this structure also could not remain intact and it was destroyed. And it was only after many centuries and just before the commissioning of the Prophet Muhammad, about a couple of years from his commissioning, that the Quraysh decided to rebuild it on its original Abrahamic foundations. However, we know that because of certain financial constraints, they were not able to do so, and a part of it was left outside its structure, and we know this open part is called the Hatim. And we also know from certain narratives that the Prophet expressed his wish that had it not been for the assurance and comfort of the Quraysh, he would have included this open portion, this Hatim, within the structure of the Baytullah. And it seems that sometime later, in the time of Abdullah ibn Zubair, he actually perhaps wanted to honor this wish of the Prophet, and he had the Baytullah constructed on its Abrahamic foundations. However, when Hajjaj attacked Makkah, because Abdullah ibn Zubair had occupied it, his catapults destroyed part of the Baytullah. It was razed to the ground, and later it was rebuilt at the behest of the then Caliph Abdul Malik bin Marwan, and Hajjaj actually had it rebuilt on its foundations on which the Quraysh had reconstructed it. And ever since then, we know that the Baytullah has remained intact. On one corner of the building of the Baytullah is the black stone or the Hajr Aswad. As we move forward, we come to the northern corner of the Baytullah, which is called the Rukn Iraqi. Then we come to the western corner, which is called the Rukn Shami, and then comes the southern corner, which is called the Rukn Yamani. The door of the Baytullah is almost 6 feet from the ground level, and the space or the wall between the Hajr Aswad and the door is called the Multazam, and it is here that the pilgrims beseech this wall and invoke the Almighty and embrace this wall. Now, there is also a white stone which is found in the veranda or in the courtyard of the Baytullah, and this is the stone actually about which it is known that Abraham actually stood on this stone and had reconstructed the Holy Kaaba. There is a black cloth which covers the Holy Kaaba, and it is a tradition that generally every year this black cloth is replaced. And very near that white stone, the white stone on which Abraham stood to reconstruct the Holy Kaaba, and which is also called the Maqam Ibrahim, we have a natural fountain which is called the Fountain of Zamzam. And it actually is a natural spring or fountain from which the pilgrims quench their thirst. The Safa and Marwa are two small hillocks which are situated very near the Baytullah, and we know that it was on the Marwa, or the hillock of Marwa, on which Abraham intended to sacrifice his son Ishmael. On these two hillocks, the Safa and Marwa, the sa'i of the Safa and Marwa is offered between these two hillocks, and it is known that the actual place of slaughter, which is the Marwa, has been extended for the benefit of the pilgrims to include and to extend to Mina. The field of Mina is a vast field, and it lies between two mountains, and it is almost 5 kilometers from Makkah. It is here that on the 8th of Zil-Hajj that the pilgrims come and stay the night, and also return here to stay for some more days on the 10th of Zil-Hajj. The Arafat is another vast field which is about 10 kilometers from Mina, and it is here that the Imam delivers the khutbah and the ritual of the Waquf Arafat takes place. Now, right in between the field of Mina and the field of Arafat, we have another field which is called the Muzdalifah. It is here that the pilgrims spend the night of the 9th of Zil-Hajj. It's a very vast field, and it is also called the Mash'arul Haram by the Quran because the limits of the Haram actually begin here. The Jamarat are 3 large columns which are situated in the field of Mina, and these columns are of variable heights. The biggest of them is called the Jamratul Aqaba or the Jamratul Ukhra. The medium one is called the Jamratul Wusta, and the last of these is called the Jamratul Ula. This then is a very brief survey of the sites and locations which we come across when we offer Hajj and Umrah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.